JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 4th of May 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, a quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our new JFD website, jfdbrokers.com. So yep, and if you go on here, start learning and click on the market news and analysis, and it'll take you to our page, which is updated on a daily basis. So okay guys, so jumping into the charts. So today I'm going to start off with the German index because, well, Chinese and the Japanese indices are still closed. So yep, might as well probably leave them until tomorrow. Tomorrow, as you know, Japan will still be closed, but China will reopen. Anyway, coming back to the charts here, the German index DAX, we have rebounded. That's fine. So yep, we have rebounded. However, we failed to push above that 14,100 zone again, and well, I mean, it's just kind of proving to me that it's quite an obstacle to keep an eye on. And if we want to go for some higher levels, well, a push through that area is needed, because at the same time we could also get a break above the 21-day EMA, and potentially more buyers could join in and drag the index a little bit higher and towards a larger correction to the upside, because we do have this downside line still, which is kind of in play. This downside line is drawn from the high of the 5th of January. So in other words, there could still be an opportunity here for the sellers to step in somewhere around here, and if they do that, then another decline could be possible. Looking at the cash index, we can see that the index and the price is currently sitting already back below the psychological 14,000 mark. So in other words, we're still stuck in this little area here. If you're looking for some downside, well, at least a drop somewhere below this 13,887 territory would be needed. However, if let me adjust this because I think yesterday I didn't save out properly. Let me just adjust this probably. Okay. You know what? I'll leave the I'll leave the 13,887 on the chart for now. But what I'll also mark here is the this inside swing high of the 27th of April. Now I talked about this one yesterday, so just for that maybe extra confirmation. If you're looking for something like that, then yeah, that could play out. At the moment, let's keep it simple. I would say if we start moving below that 13,887 territory, yes, I'll start looking at slightly lower levels, but then we'd need to kind of keep an eye on that 13,850 zone, and if that gets cleared, slowly we'll go lower because don't forget that we we could still find some obstacles here on the way lower. And for example, you could also simplify your life here with this little short-term tentative upside line as well, which, I mean, if it gets broken, then it could kind of signal that, start maybe of a bit of a decline. So keep that in mind. The Ftse 100. So haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but yeah, it's pushing higher nicely. Yep. The pound is kind of slightly on the weaker side right now, but yeah, it's giving get a bit of a boost. Giving a bit of a boost here for the Ftse, so the Ftse is pushing higher. I would say we had that nice, kind of hold up near this area, near that 7,687 zone, and yeah, we drifted back down. We fell below the 100-day EMA, but we didn't really reach this upside line, the one that I kept on talking about for quite a while. So I don't know. I mean, I'll keep it for now just to see how everything plays out here. But this upside line is drawn from the low of the 1st of December of 2020. We did have a brief drop here below it in the beginning of March. But as you can see, we recovered after that. We pushed higher, and now even after a small correction lower here, we're now traveling back above all of the EMAs. So in other words, we're back above all of the EMAs, and one of my levels here that kind of worked out. So this 7,509 zone, I said that if we pop back above it, at the same time we could climb above the 21-day EMA, and potentially this could open the door towards slightly higher levels. For now, I'm gonna aim for the upside, but I'll keep in mind that there could be a possibility maybe to see a test of this short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 10th of February. And then, yeah, we'll have to just take it from there. We want to see if this is going to provide some sort of a resistance or not. So yeah, let's see how this is going to play out. For now, I will say it simple: as long as we remain above the above that 21-day EMA, then yeah, I will continue aiming higher. If we take a look at the cash index right now, we'll see that yes, we are still somewhere around that 7,560 zone. So I'm basically where we have closed yesterday. Oh yeah, I can see in the chat room here, yep, good morning to you too. Good morning to everybody else as well who's joining in. So I hope you're having a wonderful start of Wednesday. But coming back to the charts here, is S&P 500 yesterday had a good run, or a relatively good run to the upside. I would say just kind of managed to close in the positive territory. So not maybe huge gains, but nevertheless still a positive result. And most importantly, that if you take a look at this, when I previously talked about this 4,160 zone, I said that if we drop below it and we stay below it, then yeah, my next target will be this lowest point of February, which we managed to reach perfectly at 4,114 zone, and then I'm gonna aim for that 4,061 and 4,056 area. Well, we reached the upper side of it, and yep, now let's see what's going to happen further, because if we take a look at the cash index very quickly, just bear with me one moment, we'll see that the price is currently sitting at around 4,180 zone. So yeah, in a way we are kind of somewhat positive a little bit on this, but again in the near term, because I would say if you're looking for some higher levels, slightly higher levels, then well, wait for a push above this, another push above this 4,188 zone. Yesterday we had a push above it. That's the inside swing low here of the 28th of April. I talked about this level, so if we climb again above it, then yeah, I'll go for maybe a larger correction to the upside here, because don't forget that we're still trading below this downside line, tentative of course, but yeah, nevertheless a downside line taken from the high of the 29th of March. In a way, for the downside, if you're looking for some lower levels, then well, wait for another drop below that 4,161 territory. If we stay below it, then yeah, we could maybe start carefully looking at some lower levels, because the initial target will be this lowest point of February again, and then we'll go slowly to the downside. If, like I said, if we see a move back below that 4,161 territory. Nasdaq 100. So also managed to climb back up. Nasdaq kind of was the, I think, no, sorry, it was the second best performer. The first one was the S&P. Nasdaq was the second best performer, and yeah, we climbed higher. We managed to climb back above and stay above this highlighted territory, this 13,020 zone. Let's have a look at the cash index. What's happening right now? It's sitting at around 13,118 levels. So that's quite good, I would say, for the buyers, because again, if we start pushing somewhere above this 13,239, or let's round it up here, 40 area, if we climb back above it, then we'll go for a larger correction to the upside towards this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 4th of April. For the downside, I would say we need to see a drop back below this 13,000 mark, just to kind of maybe not only this 13,020, but actually in general the 13,000 mark. If we drop below it, then yeah, I'll go for or at least I'll start aiming for some lower levels initially. Initially targeting the current lowest point of May near the 12,716 zone, and then so on and so on. DXY, the dollar index. So this is a little bit annoying, I would say. So we're still kind of, we don't know what to do here, because it seems that it's currently just, we're seeing this choppiness, or even getting a bit of a coiling up moment. And let me just show you. Let me just actually, you know what? Let me clear up this chart, because I want to start fresh. And because again, let's see. I'll mark those previous levels again, and let me just quickly mark the key ones. So this is the highest point of 2017 that I talked about previously. Let me just put this one up, not this one, guys. If I can, okay. This is going to be a difficult task here. There we go. Come on. Oh, there we go. So yeah, that's the highest point of 2017. And again, we need to jump into a monthly chart to kind of mark some higher levels. So for example, you can see that we are currently sitting around here near this lowest point of July of 2002. So yep, not far from there. And above all that, we do have the highest point of December of 2002. There we go, right here, 107.31. But again, that's a little bit further away. What I'm looking at from the very short-term perspective, of course, let's keep it really short and simple. So basically, this upside line still is of an interest for me. Tentative, of course, but nevertheless, I'll keep an eye on it. Taken from the low of the 31st of March, and we do have some area here to fill up, I would say. But the main thing that I'm keeping an eye on right now, from the very short-term perspective, is of course this little triangle. So we're just kind of seeing a bit of a squeeze here. So yeah, that's going to be, I would say, quite interesting. So in a way, I mean, I get it. I mean, we're preparing for for tonight's FOMC statement and interest rate decision. So expect some sort of movement around here. I would say in general, with all the dollar pairs, guys, be very careful today in the evening. Yep, or when the U.S. session, during the U.S. session, because yeah, we do have the interest rate, the FOMC, the Fed interest rate decision, the FOMC statement. So let's see how that plays out. We have of course an expectation for rate hike. So let's see if they will stick to the idea of 50 basis point increase. However, if yesterday we saw Australia coming out with a bit more, then well, I mean, maybe yeah, maybe we could get maybe some more. However, let's not over speculate on this, guys. For now, let's keep an eye on the news, and I would strongly recommend not to try to take any position, you know, unless you're willing to lose some. If you're comfortable of losing something, then yeah, of course, you know, you can try it and risk it, but it could go either way. And don't forget about the choppiness that we could see, so a bit of increased volatility. So it could go, you know, either way at the beginning until it will determine its track. Which way the track it wants to go. But yeah, guys, I mean, this is where a lot of traders get stopped out. So not because they didn't get the, you know, direction correctly, but because of the initial kind of choppiness, and that's why, you know, be very careful on that one. So. Coming back to this, guys, just purely from the technical. So, for example, if we wouldn't have the news, I would say, you know, the prevailing trend was to the upside before entering this triangle pattern, before entering the squeeze. So, according to all the TA rules, this kind of tends to break to the upside. So, however, due to the upcoming news, then that's why I'm gonna, you know, just abandon this theory and just gonna wait for that exit. I mean, it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen here, but that's why for now I'll rather react than, you know, act beforehand. Now jumping into gold very quickly. So gold, yeah, yesterday it dropped below that 200-day EMA, but yeah, it kind of it rebounded and pushed back up, stayed above that 200-day EMA today. We're seeing another kind of, you know, possible test of this 200-day EMA, because as you can see here, this 1872 territory did kind of, you know, did provide some sort of resistance. I wouldn't say maybe ideal resistance because we kind of overshot it. So, but yeah, the interesting thing is that the commodity drifted back down below it, so, and stayed below it. So we're kind of stuck right now in this little area. So we're waiting for that exit. I would say for the upside, yeah, if you want to aim for some higher levels, you could keep an eye on this hurdle. However, if you're a little bit more on the cautious side, then what you can do here is just keep an eye on this downside line, and then yeah, kind of, you know, take it from there. So if we get a break of this downside line, yeah, we'll go for some, maybe a larger correction here to the upside. For now, if we drop below and stay below that 200-day EMA, I will go for lower levels, and I will aim for this upside line taken from the low of the 9th of August. US oil very quickly, so which is WTI oil, so still holding on to this 21-day EMA, still balancing above it. But although it could be seen as a, you know, as a positive sign, I still need to kind of see this one, you know, trading kind of above or breaking through this highlighted territory, which I spoke about previously, this 108.70, 109.05 area. If we clear that, then yes, I'll go for higher levels. At the moment, I'm just observing this one. Yes, I'm cautiously bullish, but you know, anything can happen here, so it could still drop back below the 200, this 21-day EMA, and then maybe move towards this upside line. So, you know, let's be on the safe side and just wait for, you know, some sort of a clear indication. So if you're not even, let's say, comfortable with that 21-day EMA, because, for example, as you can see here, on Monday, on Tuesday, we did also break below these 21-day EMA, this 21-day EMA, but we kind of failed to stay below it. So that's what I'm saying. So if we do break below that 21-day EMA and we stay below that, now that's where it can become a little bit more interesting. And then we could, of course, start aiming for this 100 level, and the break of which could, yeah, open the door towards lower levels. But again, let's not rush into anything. Let's just keep an eye on it and monitor some of the levels. Ethereum. Ethereum is, yeah, trading still below this downside line, taken from the high of the 3rd of April. We are not really doing much, I would say. I mean, yeah, we're slowly kind of grinding lower, slowly drifting lower. But for the downside, I would need to see a drop below that 2,718 zone, because here at this point, I mean, I'm not really liking anything, neither the upside nor the downside, because it's just, not doing much. So yeah, I mean, I would prefer to wait for my confirmation break, and then do something about it. AUD CAD. So I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but yeah, so far it's very technical. It found support near one of my levels, near the 0.9055 level, rebounded, pushed higher, and yeah, we're now testing this highlighted area, which I previously looked at as a resistance, then support, then support again. So now it's acting somewhat of a resistance level, but to be honest, I think it's time to move on and put this highlighted area right here. So this is for my downside scenario. If we drop below this, then yeah, I'll get a little bit more comfortable with the downside. Of course, don't get me wrong, I mean, if it pushes a little bit higher here and fails to break above this downside line, then yes, another slide could be possible, so we are not excluding that. But for now, from the very near-term perspective, I'm kind of aiming slightly higher here if we continue to trade above this 0.9128 zone. If we do so, then yeah, my next target is the 0.9172, and then maybe this downside line, and then we'll just take it from there. USD CHF, guys. Now this one's very interesting. I mean, I'm also keeping an eye on it for today. I want to see how it's going to play out, but so far this let me just 0.98 territory is providing good, strong resistance. And yeah, this 0.98 zone is still somewhat something that I'm keeping an eye on. So for now, and by the way, just to let you know that this is the high of the 24th of April of 2020. So we're currently stuck here. We're currently finding resistance around here. You can see that we're getting a bit of a retracement right now. So yep. However, it will be an interesting day, so be very careful and cautious with that. So yeah, at the moment I would say if the interest rate comes out as it is expected from the Fed at 1%, then maybe this has been already priced in here. So this move, maybe we could see a bit of a negative reaction in this pair. We could see it drift lower. So let's not over speculate too much on this. Let's see how this is going to play out, of course. But yeah, as I said, maybe the up move, the increase is already priced in some of these pairs. So let's see what the number will come out with. If it comes out even more than the current forecast, then maybe yeah, it could give another boost here for the US dollar and against some other pairs. But if it comes out as expected, I'm wondering if this is not going to end up, drifting a little bit lower. However, again, don't take my word on it, and just kind of a bit of brainstorming here. So let's wait for the number and then do something about this. GBP JPY. Okay, haven't looked at this one for quite a while, and let me just probably remove everything and start fresh. Now, first of all, what we can see here is that after we rallied here from the beginning of March, we moved higher. We kind of found some resistance initial resistance around here near the 164.65 area, and then we reversed, corrected lower, and then we pushed higher again. Yeah, now we found some resistance near that 168.48 level, 43 I would say, and then we drifted back down. We fell back below this 21-day EMA, and yeah, after that it was another roller coaster ride here. We didn't really even reach this level, so this 159.05 area, and to be honest, I'm seeing that this is sometimes technical, sometimes not. So it's like, for example, sometimes it's just a random walk, sometimes it does present itself with nice technical opportunity, technical scenarios. For example, excuse me, like for example here right now, what we could be seeing, yes, on one hand we're seeing the pair oscillating around that 21-day EMA, but on the other hand we could be forming something of a bullish pennant here. However, or even actually not a bullish pennant, but also maybe a falling wedge pattern here, which can end up breaking to the upside. But if that's the case, we still need a breakout through the upper side of it. So we cannot really go anywhere. So that's why we'll just wait for a breakout. But just wanted to run it by you just so that you would kind of keep an eye on it, because again, if it does do this, what I'm thinking it could do, then it could be quite an interesting move here to the upside. GBP USD, so this one is a little bit difficult, and currently of course also waiting for that announcement today, GBP USD here. So want to see what the dollar will do. Let me remove all the drawings and just kind of one thing that I'll keep an eye on my chart here is this downside line for now. But one thing that I'm keeping an eye on right now is, of course, this little area right here, this area in between the 1.2411 and the 1.2615. So I need to see a clear breakout through one of these levels before, let's say, considering the next short-term directional move. And if we do drop lower below this area, then well, the next target here could be this one which is the lowest point of yeah, that's the lowest point, I think, of June. Let me just quickly mark this. Yes, I think, yep, that's correct. That's the lowest point of June of 2020, and that would be my next target if we drop below that 1.2411 area. For the upside, yep, as I said, push through this 1.2615 level could do the trick, and we could aim for that downside line. EURUSD NZD, very quickly on this one. So I haven't picked up on this pair for quite a while, but it's quite interesting, as you can see here, because we are trending to the upside slowly, gradually. We are moving higher, and yeah, we are trying to battle this little obstacle right here, this 1.6357 area, because yeah, we had a few breakouts here, but so far it's providing that strong resistance. So in other words, let's wait and see, basically, because we are like I said, we are keeping an eye on it, and if we do clear this, because at the moment is just we keep getting false breakouts through it, but the pair is still staying below this hurdle. So if we see a strong push above this and stay above this, and then my next target is the 200-day EMA, which is roughly around that 1.6475 area. For the downside, pretty straightforward. I need to see a break of this upside line somewhere around here, and then yeah, maybe just an extra confirmation, a drop below this hurdle, this 1.6081 level, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. And finally, EURUSD. So yeah, also playing the waiting game here. So yeah, keep an eye on the number today, and let's like I said, don't rush into anything. I mean, probably you could wait out for for the release first and then do something about it, because at the moment, I mean, we are also coiling up, so it's a very close call here, and that's why I try to kind of wait out. And if you're thinking that you might miss out on the breakout, on the opportunity, don't worry, there will always be an opportunity, because how the market works, I mean, we get the initial reaction, and then it stabilizes, and then it kind of some traders other traders who missed out on the let's say an explosion kind of start coming in. So yeah, you can always capture the wave, so be very careful. Again, have your stop loss in place, and during these times always have your stop loss in place, guys. But at the moment, let's say if it would be just a regular day, then maybe yeah, I would say maybe this could drift to the downside here, break out to the downside, because the prevailing trend was to the downside. But yeah, at the moment I'm just observing this one. I just want to keep it as it is, and yeah, then I'll do something about it after I get the news. So I hope that was useful, guys. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments, guys. I really do. So thank you very, very much for that. And if you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. stay safe, have your stop losses in place, especially today, guys, and then yeah, we'll take it from there. So have a wonderful day, guys. Bye bye.